What is good with y'all, man? So today we're going to be going over the worst abilities of Madden 23. These abilities either do not work or they just do not do what they say. Now, some of these abilities might actually work in franchise and things like that. That's what we've noticed over the years, that some of these abilities that are pretty much just useless in MUT, they actually like work, or they do something at least in franchise, CFM, things like that. So we're just going to be talking about strictly MUT. So let's get right into the abilities. First ability, we're going to be starting on the defensive side of the ball, is going to be outmatched. Now, this ability says you get better contested catching against running backs. Now, by the way, I'm not just making up any of this stuff that I'm saying in this video. These abilities have either been tested or people have tried them out and things like that. I'm not just coming on here just, flashing abilities. Like, these abilities literally have been tested and do not work. Outmatched does not work. You're supposed to essentially basically just moss the running back. Yeah, that doesn't happen. Next ability is chuck out. Zone chucks fatigue the receiver. Now, this is actually an ability that I have tested out. I tested out last year. I tested out this year. It does not work. Now, to be fair, really the only abilities work that say they fatigue players are like the crushers, the demoralizer, the ones where you're actually tackling them. Those work. The ones where it's like bench press and things like that, those, like Madden 21, don't get me wrong, bench press is crazy, but zone checkout didn't work very good in 21 either. Zone checkout just doesn't do what it says. That does not fatigue the receiver. No one ever gets tired. Now that brings us to bench press, which we just got talked about. Press wins fatigue the receiver. This was, if you guys remember Madden 21 to start the year, it was crazy. Pretty much guys were getting pressed at the line and having no stamina every play. It's not like that anymore. Guys don't really get tired at all from this ability, so it is just pointless. That is pretty much it for the defensive abilities. Jesus Christ. For the offensive abilities, we got a lot. And starting off, we're going to start off with Deadeyes. Now, we're talking about all Deadeyes in general. Yeah, you see High Point Deadeye, which, by the way, I don't think anyone gets that discounted, but High Point Deadeye, Inside Deadeye, Long Range Deadeye, anything with Deadeye. And the reason why we're saying Deadeye is because this year, when you freeform, it cancels out Deadeye. It no longer is a factor. It doesn't work. It might still pop up at the bottom of your thing saying that it worked, but it didn't. This has been tested. And maybe for someone that says, "Well, I don't use, I'm still on classic passing, I don't freeform." Well, then you already messed up right there. If you are not at freeform passing, we're in April. We're getting close to May. If you are not on that by now, then you just got to get with the program, because that's ridiculous. I'll be honest with you. So do not put Deadeyes on. They're pointless because when you're freeform, they get canceled out. Our next ability, it is also for the quarterback, we have Protected. It says stronger pass blocking from all offensive linemen. This has been tested pretty much every year since it's been in the game. It does not work. Just put abilities on your actual offensive line. Do not use Protect. And you're like, oh, well, when I use this ability, I swear I have more time to throw the ball. And trust me, this ability does not work. Now, some abilities for the running back here. The first one is going to be Backfield Mismatch, which is crazy because, like, the last 2 years, Backfield Mismatch was actually like a very good ability. It's just, a very good ability for running backs. But this year, I actually tried this out myself. I was one of the first people I want to say to even use this ability. It doesn't work out, doesn't it, past? It honestly doesn't even work at all. Like, it doesn't do anything. Like, in the past, how it worked was, it would give your running back way better route running. It would even give them better catching. This year, it does none of that. I'm not going to be talking about these abilities right here, like Homer, Clutch, which actually, to be fair, these abilities actually do work. And technically, this video is about abilities that do not work, but I don't even know why I actually just said that. But the next ability is going to be Reach For It. So, Reach For It, I want to say this ability got introduced in Madden 21. And I remember Madden 21 was tested. You would actually get, because remember Madden 21, that was the year, after every play, guys reached for extra yards. It was crazy. And it was actually tested that in Madden 21, when you put the Reach For It ability on, you would get less Reach For It animations. Now, this ability doesn't work. It just flat out does nothing. Now, who knows? Maybe this ability works in, franchise and things like that. But in MUT, this thing does nothing. We got some wide receiver abilities. So, the first one is going to be mid and elite. There's a lot of abilities you can put on. You can put on deep at elite, deep in elite, short at elite, short in elite, even mid at elite. But out of all the ones I just said, the one I didn't say was the mid and elite. Out of all those, mid and elite is the worst one. It just does not do anything. Do not put it on. It was actually the only wide receiver ability that I guess we had to talk about because most of them actually work. Now we're on to the offensive line. You guys know there is a lot of offensive line abilities that do not do anything. And starting with the first one, we have all day. Better protection against frequent shed attempts. It doesn't do anything. Natural talent. Begin the game with blocker resistance. It does nothing. Matador. Prevents dominant bull rush moves. It does nothing. For this section right here, we're about to just dig into a lot of them that do nothing. Tear-proof. Does nothing. Tough nuts. What a name. Does nothing. Lifeguard. Now, before I even say lifeguard, in the beginning of the year, Lifeguard was actually glitched. It says increased resistance to spin club and pass rush moves. This ability, like I would say, like for the first month before they dropped that first update, was actually glitched and very good. After that, they reverted it. Does nothing. Fool me once. Does nothing. And unspin. Does nothing. So those are pretty much all the abilities, at least in MUT. Right? Like I said, in franchise, maybe these abilities are great. They're goated. Who knows? But in MUT, these abilities do nothing. I think I want to say we covered pretty much most of them. If there's any of them that we forgot, let me know down in the comments. If you were using any of these abilities and you want to dispute me on them and say, hey, this ability actually works in MUT, then let's go. Dispute me down in the comments. But that's pretty much going to do it though, boys. Like, comment, subscribe, man, and your boy is out.